Hey everyone, we are back for another week of exciting rehearsals. This week we are having our season finale, part 1. We're also going to find out what made Trish say.
It would just make anybody in the listening want to just hang out with us, right?
And why Ricardo said,
it has been a year of, oh my God, and thank you God, and what the heck, and all of the things.
All this and more. So get out on the field and we will see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Welcome to another episode of Season 2 of On a Water Break, wrapping up Season 2. Right now, we are on that downhill slide. This is the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I am Jackie Brown, and I am back. I have been on a long-term assignment. I recently had a daughter, if you guys don't know. She is so adorable. She is currently 5 weeks old. And I apologize that my entire recording room is a mess because this is slowly becoming her nursery. So there's just a lot of stuff going on over here. She is an awesome little baby. It's been wild being in the trenches of having a newborn again. In fact, I changed my shirt before I came to be on the podcast so that I would have a nice, fresh, clean one. And then I fed her. And she immediately threw up on all of it. So, forget having a clean shirt for the podcast. Whatever, it's fine. You guys are just listening, not looking at me anyways, right? My son, Victor, he loves being a big brother. So, that's been a real treat, too. But I'm so excited to be back. I've been literally reading the group chat with you guys every single day. Even though I'm not always saying something, it feels great to be a part of this lovely community again. And so let's get back to our water break. We have 2 exciting episodes. This is part 1. The season 2 finale was just too big for one episode. So make sure you check out part 2, which will come out next week after this one premieres. And because it's our season finale, we're going to change some things up. So not only am I doing my first show back, but everything's all weird. So here we go. For our season finale, we've gathered all the main hosts from On a Water Break from the second season, and we're going to go through some of our favorite clips from the podcast from the whole season. So we're going to play some games. I don't even know what they are. You know, our producer Jeremy was giving me the run through ahead of time, and it sounds exciting. But we're gonna go for it. I don't know what they're about or anything, but apparently there's gonna be more on that later. So this is the first time I've ever had this group all together. We have Steven, Nicole, Trish, Ricardo, and Jack. You guys have all hosted the most shows this year. Yay! So how has y'all's 2024 been in general? And in particular the last couple of months, because it's been marching season and I've been out.
Yeah, Jackie, it's crazy to actually be on a call with you here. I think that we were on a call every week for a whole year straight, and then it was nothing. Boom. Cut off. I don't talk to Jackie anymore.
I know.
But it seems like the whole world kind of cut off.
Yeah, because she was just okay, I know I'm pregnant, but maybe I'll wait to have this baby. And we were like, can you do that, Jackie? And she's like, yeah. And then I remember the night you had it, you were texting us in the group chat. I'm like, rest. Get off the phone.
I was so sick leading up to it. I was like, oh, I'm so sick and I'm so over it. And if I text in the group chat, they're gonna be asking me questions and stuff, and I just don't want to talk to anybody. But then as soon as I had her, it was this miracle of oh my gosh, I'm not sick anymore, and I don't feel horrible, and I don't have 30 extra pounds I'm carrying around with me.
See, And this is the point where I feel bad because we had our whole friend streak happening on Duolingo, and then I just completely stopped doing my Duolingo, but I keep getting all these notifications of, you should
I
congratulate
nudge
Jackie for
you
this.
every day, Ricardo. I send you those nudges on Duo with a purpose.
I gotta get back on it. I'm sorry. I failed as a friend and as a foreign language learner, but live, laugh, toaster bath.
Jackie, you just pushed right through that? You just kept on learning?
Yeah, I've already completed the entire Portuguese Duolingo tree, and so it's really easy for me to keep up my streaks now.
You are determined. That's impressive.
Oh yeah, there's a nudge every day. It is one way to make you feel horrible about yourself when you start something and you have like a 450-day streak and then you just stop, but then your friend is nudging you like, "Hey, friend, what you doing?"
Bantober is what it is, though.
That's true.
It is what it is.
It is that, Trish. It is very much that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how solid is your Portuguese? How solid is the Portuguese?
Muito.
Very good.
I'm like,
Sounds solid to me.
No,
but to get into what you were just talking about, and also Trish, like Bantober and band season was banding. Like it really did the thing this year. And I could tell it on everyone's face and the way that we were going through things. It's just like, yeah, I can, but band. So, but yes, everyone was in it, in the trenches.
Absolutely.
The number of times Jeremy was like, who do I get?
This is the only band season that it felt normal to me, where band was like the thing that like wasn't crazy.
Right.
Yeah, you had a thing or two to contend with this year.
That's true. We'll get to that when it gets to my turn.
So, Nicole, how has your 2024 been? I know you've been judging a lot this fall.
Yeah, I went straight through. Pretty much, I started at the end of September and was on through the last week, and I was done. But it was cool. It was cool. I had a lot of firsts. I was down in Florida doing prelims for the
you
Florida,
were.
Florida State Marching Band Competition. So I did 1A and 2A. Is that right? Yes. 1A and 2A prelims, and then we scooted over to finals. But yes, it was fun. I had lots of fun everywhere I went this year. There was not a time where I was just like, ugh. But also, too, when I went to Florida, I knew that I was going to be choking back some tears because of, seeing everybody just put something on the field after that huge storm that went through. We will get more into that, but yeah, I had a great season. I'm looking forward to next weekend, which is a cabin trip for just my small group of friends. Oh, it's so needed. So needed.
Trish, how about you?
All good over here. I mean, I think 2024 was, had really, really great moments. Band season ended up, really well, and I was really happy about that. Everything is, off to a pretty good start. And I think one of my best memories of 2024 was being with all of you guys at WGI. I thought that was
yay!
Really, really, I was so looking forward to 2025. So here we go.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, that was such a good time. And with my little Victor running around and and I'm trying to converse with everyone.
Human.
Victor said finals from his suite. Okay.
That's true. He's gonna have such high standards of what it's like to go to world championships. He's gonna go to these high school competitions and be like, what is this? Is this real? Is this an actual competition? Yeah. Where's my box?
Can I just tell our listener that most of us did not know each other before, the podcast or whatever. And we record this in our own places. And WGI this year was the first time that a lot of us got the opportunity to meet each other for the first time. And it was like meeting your family that you have always been around forever. And that's literally how it was when Trish came up to me and hugged me. It was like my cool aunt that
oh wow,
that used to buy me beer back in the day.
Oh my God.
It was awesome. Of course, I've known Jackie forever, and Nicole and I have been friends forever, but it was just so cool to see everybody and like meet in that space together. And like, it was just family. I loved it. It was my favorite
Well,
of the year.
when all the
Same.
rest of this call wants to come out to WGI percussion finals, then I'll be happy to throw a party and we can all.
You know what,
Yes,
Steven?
we
I
should do
might
that.
have to do that this year
Challenge
because
accepted.
Do it, please.
yeah.
Free housing, guys.
Whoa, slow down. No one said anything about that.
Yeah, no. So for me, I've still been judging on the West Coast while balancing medical school. So that's been a blast and a half. So it's actually been working really well. So we're the only medical school in the United States that does week off breaks in between blocks. So that allowed me to basically get flown back and then just keep on judging. So everything on the West Coast is going cool, but it's a whirlwind. It's an absolute whirlwind. So this 2024 season has been a lot of growing, a lot of, figuring out what like passions you want to like be a part of and like what's super important. So yeah, it's been really good. Like it's been a good season for me. So yeah, I've had a blast.
I am not jealous of you in the slightest. I remember just grad school. I never went to medical school, but grad school for biomedical science and trying to do that and color guard all the time and yeah, teaching full time is just not a nope. You are rocking it and I applaud you for it. Ricardo, you have had some serious successes recently though. Do you want to talk about those?
You gotta spill the tea. You gotta spill the tea, dude.
Okay, so let's recap 2024. So 2024 has been 100%. I have no idea what's going on, and I'm just going to strap myself in and put on my big girl panties and roll with it. I taught drum corps this year, again, after a very long hiatus as a caption head, and that was a successful season in my eyes. The kids got better, and we had fun. I dealt with a little bit of tragedy with the loss of my grandmother, who was my rock. But then I transitioned jobs and moved from being a classroom teacher to now I am in district administration. And then just a mere 2 days ago, I was crowned the Florida 2A state champion in not only color guard, but the entire marching band as my swan song, because I'm retiring after this year. So it has been a year of, oh my God, and thank you, God, and what the heck, and all of the things.
What a way to go out, man.
No kidding. You do so much. You do so much.
I do the most. And when I teach in Columbia, they have a phrase for me. They call me Lamaze. And I was like, what does that mean? They were like, the most. And I was like, yep, that tracks.
That makes perfect sense. So, Jeremy prepared a little bit of trivia for us. Like I was saying earlier, I know nothing. I don't know the questions. I don't know the answers. We have
That's what you want us to think.
What's that?
I said that's what you want us to think, but okay.
It's true.
Continue.
I literally was changing my shirt and then breastfeeding a baby before this. So I know nothing.
Story.
So he's gonna put things into the chat as we're ready for them, into the group chat. So we're gonna try this out and see how this works because, like I said, I don't know it. So he's gonna feed them to us here. So
I feel like we need Jeopardy music or something like that.
Oh, we have music.
What? Ask and you shall receive.
You did not know about that.
That cute little sound is courtesy of our host, Woody. So
Woody made that. Whoa.
Yeah. So we're going to do our first question. So who has, and seriously, I know none of this. I'm sorry. I haven't even listened to all the episodes. I'm behind. So who has hosted the most shows this season, including specials?
Oh, I'm going to say Trish.
I don't think so.
Ricardo?
This is tough.
This is a difficult one.
I kind of want to say Ricardo as well.
Right?
Yeah, Ricardo. Let's
I
see.
don't know that
Yes.
I've main hosted that many.
But I've only done one a month. I've main hosted 12, I would
Honestly,
say.
I think even though the break, I want to still say Jackie.
I was going to say
don't
that
think
too.
so.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. Jackie, I think is a call. That's my final answer.
Nicole.
Nicole!
Oh!
Wait.
Yeah, I
wait.
did.
Pause. That may be
Oh,
incorrect.
Oh, are you sure?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's Steven.
It's Steven. I was like, why is it
wait.
Nicole? What? Yeah.
Look at that.
I was like, I've been on a lot of shows, and most of those are with Steven or
He's
Nicole.
still
So
typing. Give him
Do
a
we
minute.
have a rundown of what those are? Like, now I'm curious.
Oh!
Oh, I see what you're doing now, Jeremy. I thought you were just giving us the final answer. I have been reading the chat. I've been reading it incorrectly. So basically, with 11 shows, Nicole was in third place. Steven has 14. And I did 17. When did I do 17 shows? I was
A lot in the
was
summer.
She was in a baby fever.
I did do a lot in the summer.
Yeah. Do I win prize?
Jackie, your shows were probably in the first trimester, maybe.
I don't know. I was very sick there in the first trimester too. But the summer shows, especially with like all the Blue Stars specials and stuff, I think that's when I really got that. Which, by the way, I do have it. Wait. Speaking of Blue Stars, I have my flag.
Oh, yay.
Oh.
Right? This is the flags we used for the Blue Stars alumni fan. I just got it today.
Oh.
The alumni corps, I mean, sorry. Called it a band, how dare I?
Were you the only you were the only pregnant one out in the guard, yes?
Yes. I was the only one insane enough to be pregnant. And I got reminded of that regularly. The pictures came out so cute, though. All right, so question 2. Who has been on the most shows? So not the main host, but on the most shows, including specials. I'm going to say Ricardo, too. That would be my guess.
Ricardo.
Final answer.
I would say Ricardo or myself.
I'm going to say Trish because Trish has been on every episode that I've done this season.
You know what? I just thought about that because Trish was like, hey, yes, I'm on. So I'm going to have to switch that to Trish.
Okay, so 29 shows, more than half of our entire season is
Yay! I'm good at this.
Mind you guys, I can't see the chat, so whatever you say.
By the way.
Well, now that I understand what we're doing in the chat. That's a lot of shows, Trish.
I know.
Trish is the GOAT, man.
Well, I don't work my full-time job in the summer. I do work, but it's a little bit easier, so.
Yeah, we've been on a lot of shows together too. Okay. Third question. Who has hosted the most special episodes?
Jackie, I think that might be you.
Me.
Yeah, I think it's
I would have said either Steven or Nicole, but
no, I don't think it's me. So retry.
But I do the feature performers count?
Oh,
yeah, those.
I don't think I did a lot of them in season 2.
We don't think this was Ricardo?
My guess is Jack. Honestly, we'll see.
Well, I know what we could be counting.
Okay, Jack had 5 specials.
I ran. I wanted to interview a very, very select group of people, I guess. Yeah.
And he's
the winner. Yes, Jack.
Got it. I feel like I see Jack up in the chat a lot too, saying, "Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I got that one."
Who's gonna join Jack? Yeah.
Yes, that text gets a lot. Okay, Ricardo, you are up next to partially host this part. Jeremy's going to try and keep us on our toes. So now it's time to play Guess the Episode. So get your thinking caps on. All of these are going to have at least 2 of us from this current set of people on the episode. So Jeremy's trying to keep it fair. Jeremy is also making me say this, so who knows if he's actually being fair. So
To break the fourth wall, he wrote that part too.
we got to be a little meta here. We got to be a lot meta here.
Okay, Ricardo.
Okay, each episode will have 3 total clues given before we are deemed unworthy, and Jeremy has given us exactly what to say, like he always does. Feel free to comment. It's exactly what it says on the script right now, listeners. I am not crazy. Okay, first episode clue. The guest clinicians were Ryan Eberly and Jazz Kozanow.
So are we trying to guess the name of the episode?
Yeah, we're trying to guess the name of the episode.
Because you're not going to get me to guess what number episode that was or nothing.
Oh, no, we're not doing numbers. Math is hard. We only can count to 8 this group.
We can describe this.
Math is hard.
Okay, clue number 2. Nicole, Trish, Jackie, and myself were on this episode. So now I feel really bad.
Well, I remember being on this episode because I remember saying Kuzanow and her getting really excited because I said it correctly, like off the cuff.
Was this the WGI recap
I think
episode?
so.
It might be, and I mean, she taught Laser Clips, so.
And I think Jazz is one of the people that taught Lazy Clips, right?
Yeah, she did. Yep.
Yeah.
So this was a wrap up. This was
one of the guest hosts just won a medal. That's our next clue. Yeah, that definitely had to be the WGI recap.
Yeah, that was a recap.
Because Ashley had won WGI, and that was a big thing. Yeah. Okay. I feel set up right now, and
I know.
This is exactly how I feel.
Yeah, okay, so it was the one about WGI 2024 championships. Ryan Eberly, known on TikTok as Pops, got the moves, following him as Ryan at Ryan1 Eberly. And Jazz was a part of the amazing Les Eclipse. So yeah. Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I remember loving that conversation. And Ryan Eberly, like I was like so excited to actually get to talk to him because I have done like a zillion guard instructor reacts to his videos, which I haven't done any of those for a while either.
I know. Yeah, we got to get back on that. Okay, so I'm being informed that I'm going to pass off the hosting duties now to the lovely Trish, and she is supposed to scold any one of us hosts that are thinking about pulling up the list on Apple Podcasts to figure this out. So Jeremy said he will see if we are cheating and he will make the questions harder. And
I don't have Apple Podcasts. I use Spotify, so there.
Ooh.
Me too. Oh, no, I use Apple Podcasts. Never mind.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Second episode, first clue. The guest clinicians were Lex Holland and Jonathan Lischak.
Love both of them.
I think I was on this one.
I think I was on that one.
I'm pretty sure I was on that one.
Yep.
Jackie, Stephen, Nicole, and myself were on this episode.
I think this is the one about like drum corps stories. Maybe.
I think it was.
No. Okay.
Water bursting during his rehearsal.
Jonathan told the story about the water bursting during rehearsal.
So this was during when I was like early-ish in pregnancy. Because I remember that story too.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Was it Drum Corps Stories?
No, the one about pregnancy.
The one about pregnancy and marching band.
Yeah, it's a pregnancy episode.
Yeah.
That was every episode for me, Stephen.
Terrible rehearsal stories.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. I got one.
All right, my turn to...
Okay, now I am handing it off to Jack for the next set of clues.
It'll be an interesting one. All right, let's see what Boss Man has to say. All right, guest clinicians for this episode were Sam Moeller, and Amanda DeFries.
The one about social media and drum corps.
Yeah.
Oh,
When we
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about
It
when we
wasn't.
talked about UDB and we
and
talked about
the finale.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the one we talked about. Those going down.
Okay, so the hosts were Jackie, Steven, Cindy, Emily, and Ashley Tran.
Okay, maybe it's not that one because I was on that call. The one that you're talking about, Jackie.
Was it
Okay.
about marketing? I can't.
And it happened at the beginning of March. So
it was like in the middle of
Winter guard season.
winter guard season.
Well, winter season percussion.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly listening to this episode as I was driving from my house to Orlando for a Winter Guard show. And maybe it was even the regional. I think it was like the Orlando regional.
In March 4th?
Okay, so the one
Women's History Month.
Now that throws me off because of Sam. So
yeah.
And we talked. I do remember talking
social
to
media?
Amanda DeFries with her because of UDB, and then also the Femme Forte podcast, because we talked a lot about where she was going with that, and she has some really cool plans. So, all right, now that we have got our brains going a little bit, we are going to send you all out on the field to run a few more chunks, and then we are going to be right back with some clips from this season.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
Welcome back. Each of us hosts has brought a clip with us, so we are going to share with everyone and talk a little bit about the episode. So let's start with Nicole. Why don't you set up what we're about to hear, which episode it was from, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay, so mine is from the episode called The One, or it's Ladies' Night, or something like that. So it was me, Trish, Emily. Yeah, me, Trish, Emily. Yeah, and me. So we were all on. And I know that we talked a lot about like mental health and things like that. And then like we did this just moment where we just checked in on each other. And that's honestly where I found out that, hey, Ashley and I can definitely like bounce heads, like bounce off each other as far as conversation goes. So this is what this was.
We talk about, I'm excited for this. And yes, Gush and Gozer, that's what we use this for. But at the same time, like, I would love for everyone to be as real with me as I am with them. And no, I'm not 100 all the time. And honestly, some days it is like a huge deal to get out of the bed, Yeah. And not to mention, like, there are times during the season, I don't want to say you hit a wall, but yeah, you kind of hit that proverbial wall and you're just like, I don't know if I need to get under it, go around it, go over it, but like I've hit it.
Break it.
Right.
Coming into it a couple times and then go over it.
Kung Fu Panda through something.
So I thought that was just a great time. I don't know if I'm supposed to wrap that up anyway, shape or form, but it was really good to, bring some of that stuff out and then have everybody go, yes, I've been there, I've done that. And, just have that camaraderie during the season.
Well, I think it's super deep. I mean, like I think that's one of the biggest issues of like being an instructor, like is like you're gunning and going all the time, right? You don't find time to realize like, yeah, I've hit a wall and I'm burning myself out. I need to take a step back, right? So I think like, that's some deep concepts right there. So yeah, I love it.
Thanks,
Well,
Jack.
the fact that you can like share it with somebody else, it kind of like helps you share the load, and like, you can move forward together versus just trying to push through that wall yourself.
It's nice to share it on the call too, because I'm sure a lot of people feel similar to you that teach band. Like, this was my first year. Like, I moved out of my parents' house this year. I'm relatively young on the call, but like, this was like way harder than any other band season I've had yet, just because I have a lot more on my plate now than I used to, as like a more genuine adult than I've ever been. So I think for everyone teaching, it's really hard to like actually get through, especially when you get to like mid to late October and the season's almost over, but definitely not yet. It gets to be really difficult.
Yep, it does.
Yeah,
It does.
and then Nicole, like you and I have lots of conversations about like where we are in headspace a lot of the times, and so like you're one of my people that I'd like feel free that I can call and be like, "Girl, I am struggling to get through stuff," and I feel like you're one of those people. Like you call me when you're in those moments too. So I think that this was just like one of those like moments of honesty, if you will.
Yes. Be very real. Be really for real right now.
Be
Because,
for real,
like,
for real.
For real. We run around, like Jack said, we run around like chickens with our heads cut off, and we're really excited when things go well. But at the same time, like, we are all very human. So there's that.
Well, Ricardo, you are up next. Do you want to tell us where your clip is from?
So this episode was one of the first episodes that I hosted, and it was the Pride Month episode. So I got to bring my good Judy from here in Tampa Bay, David Rojas triplet, onto the podcast, and we got to talk about the Tampa Bay Pride Band.
Networking allowed more visibility because that's a big part of the Pride Band Alliance mission is visibility, and I think that's what this month is about, right? Is the visibility of our pride to be who we are, and letting people know that we exist, and in all facets, right? Mainly in this respect is music, right? So it's really, really great to be a part of it and see how well it's growing.
David, I love the concept of, an organization that is started by gay and queer and lesbian people, all on one shared bond of a love for music. And you have been able to take this organization and turn it into something that is not just represented, once a year or twice a year at the local Pride festivals, but turning it into a legitimate concert organization. Oh my goodness. I've done some reflecting in the last couple of days, and I was really thinking about, like the gravity, because listeners, I'm retiring from my job as a high school color guard director in a couple of months. I just finished my last marching season after like 29 years. This will be my last winter. And I was thinking about what it was like when I made the decision to move here to Florida, and I didn't know a single person. And the thing that made me happy was the fact that when I didn't know a single person, I was able to reach out to one of the color guards for Pride. And I was able to go in and start spinning, and I met all of the people that would like introduce me either to the friends that I would like keep and have in my life forever, including my best friend here. But it just opened up doors and introduced me to a family in this place that I was a stranger in. And it was so refreshing to hear from David and like talk about the Pride Band of Tampa Bay and like how they are doing all of these things, and they have these other satellite organizations that exist within the band world. But it doesn't just revolve around doing a parade in June. Like there's year-long activities, there's rehearsals, there's all these things that people are able to find their tribe and identify with. And that just kind of spoke to me. So I was glad that we did this episode. I was glad that I got to talk to a friend about their vision. And I was glad to have, some good friends on the episode with me as well, hosting with me.
That's awesome.
Well, finally, this is my clip. It's actually from our season premiere last year. It was the one with Eric Carr, who is a social media star, YouTube star. And you want to go ahead and play that one. What's your schedule look like? What is your day-to-day? Like, how do you decide when you're going to record content? And like, do you have stuff set aside? Do you have everything pre-planned out? How do you do that?
Right. I kind of, now that I'm like doing YouTube full time, I kind of sort of have a schedule for myself. I wake up usually around 9:00 and then work out and eat lunch and breakfast and all that stuff. And then
So talking to Eric was really, really cool because I kind of always felt like social media is sort of like a domain where I've made a spot for myself versus, everywhere else in the world. And like being able to see somebody who does it full time, it was very inspiring for me. That something I would want to move forward with. Now, granted, this was prior to finding out I was pregnant, so I kind of went the opposite direction and backed off from social media like crazy. But getting to talk to him and see, I think it's important, one of the things that we do on this podcast, to show our listeners, especially those who are still really young and just starting out with their music careers, or their music hobbies or whatever, that there's so many different aspects to what we do. And I think that seeing somebody who's in a position that you would like to be in is really, really important in order to move into that position. And we've talked about this on so many different fronts. We've talked, Nicole, you and I've talked about it a lot with judging, seeing somebody judging. And we've talked about it, especially like Steven, you kind of moved into instructing as one of our younger hosts, and just kind of seeing this whole movement. I know, like, for myself, becoming an instructor, Ricardo, you were one of the instructors who I got to look up to when I was like my very first couple of years of teaching color guard. And
I'm clutching my pearls right now.
It's true though. I went to the Color Guard Instructor Academy at Music for All Summer Symposium, and that was something, just seeing instructors in that environment and getting to watch how you guys operated and what you did was so helpful. And I think that showing all the aspects of it, when we have Emily come on as our artist, just everything. So important.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool episode. That might have been the first episode we did of season 2, was it?
It was. It was the very, very first. It was the season premiere of our whole thing. Who are we going to have for the season premiere of season 3?
Nobody knows yet.
It was a good bookend, though. What a perfect
drum roll, please. Eric Carr again.
Hey, I would not be against that. I would not be. I would love to see what he has done since his first episode with us, and just see what he's taken.
To tie it back to your clip, I think it's really cool. It's like, I like that Eric Carr exists in the world, that there's like at least one person that gets to make a regular online internet living just doing content about drumline and marching band. It's mostly drumline. But like, it's pretty cool for that to be out there. It's definitely what I would love to see this show grow into someday, is like really just being able to exist on its own,
I feel like we're headed there. We are headed straight there.
We do good stuff, people. This is good content. This is good talking points. It's a good time.
It would just make anybody in the listening want to just hang out with us, right?
And I am inviting anybody listening to come hang out with us. If you're interested in being a guest or you have a topic you want us to talk about, you can email us on a water break. I think it's on a water break podcast at gmail.com. Is that, someone correct me? We are at On a Water Break on all of our social media, so look us up there. You can send us a DM. I like the DMs better than emails anyways. So this is going to wrap it up for part 1 of our season finale of On a Water Break. Before I go, I do want to do a gush and go real quick because I actually have to leave rehearsal and go work on my baby assignment. So I just want to gush one more time about you guys and this community and the On a Water Break cast. You guys are fantastic, and I absolutely am so glad to be back and chilling with you all.
We are glad to have you back.
You're awesome, Jackie.
I miss you, Jackie.
I know.
I'll get back on my Duolingo. I will.
Okay, get your duos done. Nicole, do you want to give us your gush and go before you run off?
I do. I do want to gush and go about, like you said, the podcast, but I'm very excited that we're wrapping up another like, it's crazy because I remember, or it's wild because I remember coming on as a guest and then just thinking this was the coolest thing in the world, and I was just like, can I stay? And so I did. And, just going through my marching band era of my year with everyone. And I'm excited to do more for, we're going into season 3. That's still wild to me. But yes, I'm excited about that.
Thank you guys for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you to our hosts, Nicole, Jack, Trish, Ricardo, and Steven. I'm so glad to see all of your faces again. We have a lot of exciting new things planned when we launch season 3, which will be happening very soon. Thank you to everybody who has been a guest clinician from the entire season. It's been just amazing to have you guys. One more thing. Don't forget, we have our YouTube channel. You can check out all of our lovely faces so you can see what I'm talking about here. And the reactions that we have to things we talk about. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss all those visuals. They are fantastic. You can also find lots of old episodes, including the ones that we had clips from here. And then, of course, before you close out your podcast listening app, make sure you subscribe, write us a review, share this with a friend. Follow us on all of our social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
Go practice.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.